So we got to add myself to the screen. So as is customary, we normally start out with some sort of review of a winning strategy or a thought um, or something. So I'd like to continue with that. And today I'd like to talk about two things, uh, fear and immaturity. I realize as I study my own success and the success of other people that being able to manage and control and being intentional about fear as well as immaturity makes the world a difference and the difference between success and or a challenge. And I think that that's important for us to keep in mind that often we need to transfix fear with faith and with immaturity to transfix it with maturity so that we're allowing more positive things to lead us and guide us to the destination we're trying to get to. But often, if we let fear be the driver or we let immaturity be the driver, it's going to have us among people, places, and things that we do not want. So I would encourage you to think about that as the next time you're faced in a situation, whether positive or challenging, just just ask yourself how much of the role of fear and immaturity or faith and maturity were at hand. And I'm sure as you begin to examine these things, you'll begin to see it makes a world of difference to approach it with faith and maturity. All right, so that's the concept I wanted to share with you for today. We do have a guest that is joining us, and her name is Alexis. So I'm going to bring her on the screen. I also want to remind you that if anyone would like to be a guest or to call in, you can do so by the information that's in the chat. Also, it's at the bottom of my name on the screen there. So feel free to use that. So without further ado, we have Miss Alexis.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And it's very funny how we became reconnected again. So
Very.
Alexis, I knew when she was younger. And then recently, my daughter is going in for a little bit of a foot surgery. And um, Alexis saw the name and said, "Boy, these names look a little familiar. I,
Very.
I've seen them on police rosters and other things, crime shows. So I think I may have a reward coming my way." But so she recognized the name of my wife, myself, and my daughter, and said, "Hey, by the way, are you who I think you are?" And so we acknowledged that we were found out. But it's just a reminder to us all about how small of a world it is, and you just never know who you're going to meet, and in this case, you just never know who's going to be in that trusted position to provide medical care to your child. So be nice to people because you never know where they're going to end up later in life. So, without further ado, Miss Alexis, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners in any way you feel comfortable, and any kind of biographical information you feel you want to share.
Okay. I'm Alexis. I am 26. I went through the program with Dr. Williams. He's always been a shoulder to lean on, a person to talk to for advice and everything else up under the sun. Um, Currently, I'm in the medical field. Love to stay there. And as he said, I'm kind of taking care of his daughter's care. I'm a surgical coordinator, so I'm walking her through all the steps, and I'll be there from the beginning to the end.
Wow. And she's a little nervous.
A bit.
Uh, so, again, having you on the other side makes a world of difference. And hopefully you're better at your bedside manner than I. I had an aunt who just recently passed away, and she had open heart surgery back in 2010. And they said it was going to be very challenging when you go in. There's going to be tubes all over the place and blah, blah, blah. So be careful. Don't try to stay there overly long because it may be difficult for you. So I listened to the advice. And then maybe like a couple of days later, she was doing a little bit better. And I walked in and I said, leaned over to her and I said, Aunt Dolly, you've made it to the other side. And poor Aunt Dolly started, frailing away. And I'm like, no, the other side of the operation, because I don't think you would see me on the other side. So I pray, Alexis, that your bedside manner is somewhat better than mine.
Oh, 10 times better, because I would never say that to a patient.
Oh, my Lord. I thought it was soothing, but as you can imagine, it wasn't very soothing. No.
Not at all.
So how did you choose the medical field, and how early on after high school did you decide that the medical field was something you wanted to do?
So actually, my story kind of takes a detour because once I left the program, I didn't continue with high school. So I kind of went the GED route. Because, high school isn't for everybody. And I had another kid. So now I have not only my 9-year-old, I have a 7-year-old as well.
Wow.
So I just kind of went through Philadelphia Job Corps. I obtained a GED and my patient care tech certification.
Wow.
And right out of school, went right into work. I actually worked at a pediatric group home for medically fragile kids.
Okay.
In East Norton. I worked there for 3 years and then transitioned throughout. I was a surgical assistant, phlebotomy technician. I've kind of always been within the medical field. And this last job, I've been here for about 3 months. It's in podiatry. I'm surgical assistant. I'm one of the head MAs to the owner. So, it's always been there. I feel like it's always been in my path to do. And it's kind of fun just navigating through it.
Sure. Do you have any goals as it relates to a job that you would like to, or are you happy, where you are now and that's where you see yourself, staying, or do you have other aspirations?
The goal is always growth. For me personally, I have kids that I want to set an example for. And honestly, my goal has always just been to show them that mommy did it, so I think I can do it. I do want to pursue nursing, but I'm really looking into the surgical tech aspect of things because I was a surgical assistant. I really loved that. It was my favorite part of the medical field that I was in, and I really want to go back.
Wow. We have a nurse that works with us, Selena Mack. So hopefully Selena will be brave and call in to join us in this conversation. But if not, I'll definitely connect you after the show. And she, worked with us at a Child First, and then went to medical school, and then graduated and came back. Yeah. So I don't know if you can count that as something intelligent that she did or not, but
I think staying with you guys is always something intelligent. You can't make a wrong move there.
She's wonderful. And also I have a daughter who is an RN, BSN as well, and was working in Atlanta and also in California, and now is back here in Pennsylvania. So we'll definitely bring the three of you together, Selena and Jeannie and yourself, just to talk about what you're trying to do and some of the experiences they've had. Because one of the things I realize lots of times is we have ideas, but often we're not talking to people who are where we want to be.
Right.
So it's really important and talk to a lot of people, not just 2 people. Talk to a lot as you possibly can, and I'm sure some of your colleagues where you work are a resource for you to get some information as well. So we'll just add to your library, Selena and Jeannie to talk to. So talk with me about the challenge of having children and pursuing all that you've pursued, which is a lot, even though you have 2 young children. So talk with us a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
I wouldn't say it's a challenge. It's actually my reason I get up every day. Because I feel like without my without my 2, I probably wouldn't get up as much as I would every day. They're the reason I keep pushing, the reason I keep going. And that's not saying everybody go out and have kids, because it's not for
Sure.
everybody. But they're the reason I get up and go every day.
Wow. And so one of the things that I try to encourage people that maybe have had children, as some people perceive to be early, the beautiful part, if you don't have any more children, your job's done, and so you're halfway through. So I think look at it that way. That I have a 16 or 15-year-old daughter, and I'm going to be 60 soon. So so you're getting your job done early, but that, again, it only works if you don't
have any more.
Because I do have older children. If I would have stopped with those two, I'd be moved on. But
they're
again,
blessings in disguise. Sometimes we don't realize it, but
yeah. And again, if I was learning a lesson about the first two, I shouldn't have had 6 more after that. So I don't really think that I learned very much there. But again, as you said, those 2 youngsters are blessing. And I thought I heard someone say that you were so enamored and excited and enthusiastic about being with us earlier, that one of these children are named after me or my wife. No?
So we can work on that in the future.
Wow. But in all seriousness, as you've tried to accomplish the things that you're trying to do for yourself and your children and your family, what has been some of the successes, and also what have been some of the challenges?
I mean, the biggest challenge is finding somebody that you can count on to be in your corner all the time. That's been like the biggest thing. Sometimes we think we have family, even though they're blood related, and it turns out you don't have them as much as you think you do.
Wow.
Honestly, my biggest success is the one person that I've had behind me for the last 6 years, which is my kid's bonus grandmother. She's been, I guess you could say, my angel in disguise, even though we feel like we're mother and daughter. But she's been there 100% all of the time. So that's the person I can count on, and who's been in my corner, who's been helping me and pushing me along to go to school and do everything that I was supposed to do. So like I said, the biggest thing, it has been finding somebody that you can just count on.
Do you feel that you've sufficiently told her thank you?
I feel like I don't tell her thank you enough.
Now you have a platform that's worldwide. You can tell her now.
That's a little scary. Okay. Okay. Sue, if you're out there listening somewhere, I just want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have been with me through homelessness, through school, through almost losing my place, through everything. She's been really my backbone, my person I can call my mother without actually having to call her my mother. We have a relationship that nobody understands, and a lot of people get jealous about, but you've been my best friend. So thank you.
Good. Well, good. I'm glad you were able to do that. Selena, any thoughts that are going through your mind as you listen to Alexis and her journey?
Yes. I think you should pursue, I'm always going to say pursue nursing, because of course, I did it, and I did it at a later age. I did it at 37, I started. But I will say, you will probably, if you want to stay on that surgical kind of like, road, then choose OR, trauma. I think that would be like definitely good, because I can understand like the pace of surgery, the how it is very interesting. So I would encourage you. It's very exciting, but I would encourage you to just focus on continuing education. Of course, I would definitely be a mentor and provide some supports. I also have a network of people who I utilize as my mentors, who I can connect with. One being Dr. Kemp. We always just kind of, even if it's breaking it down to having a conversation about it, making sure that's the path you want to stay on, and so forth. I definitely can connect you with people, but your journey is one that is yours. I will always encourage you to, if you feel it, this is what you want, this is what you like, that's your niche, stick to it. But again, you can broaden your horizon in the OR. I once wanted to do mortuary science, and I was kind of upset that I didn't do it. But then I started, once I became a nurse, I put my hand in a whole bunch of things, and I started doing like hospice nursing. So it wasn't mortuary science, but it was still like, kind of dealing with that population, right? So there's so many things you can do, and I'm very proud of you, because again, it's hard to stick to something in the medical field because you get very frustrated. It's very overwhelming, and it's a lot of information you got to take in. But I'm definitely 100%. I will support. So please do it. It will be good for you.
Thank you.
Good. So one of the things you just mentioned earlier about I think you said the baby's grandmother is that she's a real safety net for you, and I think that that's so important. I think often we forget we're on our own, but we shouldn't be alone. And you're running the show when it comes to those children, but again, you shouldn't be alone, and there should be somewhat of a safety net going forth. And again, hopefully you'll take Selena up on the offer of the additional aspect of a safety net that she wants to provide for you professionally and personally to be successful. So I would encourage you to keep that in mind going forth. Is that the road will get difficult and arduous, but that safety net is so very important. And I also want you to keep in mind that there are some resources that we have that are available to people that were in the foster care system that are pursuing higher education. So keep that in mind as a potential resource as well, so you don't fall off of your desire to pursue next steps. And the other thing that I would share with you to keep in mind is just please remember that you're a whole person, and that your career is one part, but please take time to recreate. Please take time to address your spirituality. Please take time to develop, as a person, and continue with your education, and make sure your environment is a safe place for you to be in. So again, there are lots of different parts of you, and so it's very important. I'm just trying to hold on a second. I'm trying to bring that slide up so I could share it with you. And I think you may remember it because I think it was developed back in 1999.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's why I know I'm old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't see it here. I think it's going to come up. So just bear with me.
Take your time.
Yeah. So again, it's those 8 domains. You want
those.
Yeah, there you go. I can't. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here it is. Again, just remember to pay attention to your health, your spirituality, your personal development, your finances, your environment, your education, your recreation, and again, your family and friends. Again, recognizing that you're a whole person with lots of different aspects of you. And so often because we don't pay attention to those one areas, they come back and steal the area that we are paying attention to. That's often a travesty, that because we didn't manage our finances, or stay connected to our family or friends, or manage our health, that we got what we wanted in education, but the other stuff was stolen because of one of those other areas. So please keep that, and make sure you have plans. My daughter is going off to college, and she put together this vision board, and it's almost within 3 feet of her every night when she goes to bed, and she's just looking at, and I'm like, who are these pictures of yourself? And she says, no, they're not pictures of myself. They're pictures of situations that I want to be in, and one day I hope to be in that picture, which I just thought was very interesting. And so for such a young person to have some clarity there says a lot about who she is as a person, what she wants to attain. And so I would just encourage you as well to just have a vision for your health, and a vision for your spirituality, and a vision for what kind of environment. She has a picture of a house that she wants to one day have. And so again, just to remind yourself that you're a whole person. So before we get ready to wrap up, anything you want to share, Alexis? Anything you want to? As the title of the show, as I shared with you at the beginning, was "Attaining Your Personal Best." So, as you've been working on attaining your personal best, is there anything things you want to share with people that you think is important for them to know as you look at your own journey?
I'll say this: the grass isn't always greener on the other side, but guess what? After every rain shower, there's always a rainbow.
Mm,
So just keep on pushing. You got this.
yeah, hang in there, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And again, I thank you so much for your service to my daughter and wife when they've been at the clinic. And I think it's next week. It's at the operation, and I'm sure you'll be a resource then.
Yes.
But
I'll be
also,
with it.
but also keep in mind, that we're here for you as well as you're being there for us. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. Very, very good. Again, I'll let you go. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a rising star in Miss Alexis that we have there. So I thank her so much for calling in and sharing her journey as she attains her personal best. So that is our time together for tonight, Monday, the 29th of July in 2024. We'll be back next week. Until then, please stay well.